Attention duelists. Running through my ancient gear replays so I can clear these out because they updated how the replays are saved, so I have newer stuff that I want to get to, so let's just get these out of the way. Because I said I would a while ago. I'm going to hold my word, damn it. Anyway, ancient gear stuff. Open up with Gearbox, King Regulus, Pot of Desires, and 2 Ancient Gear Fusions. Start with Pot of D, banish 10 to draw 2. Get Ancient Gear Advance, activate it. Use it to add Ancient Gear Catapult. Activate the Catapult, destroying my Advance to special summon out Ancient Gear Wyvern. Wyvern is summoned, I get to add an Ancient Gear card to hand. Add Tanker. Normal summon Tanker, which lets me special summon my Ancient Gear box. Use the 2 of them, linked together, to make Ancient Gear Catapult. Sorry, Ballista. Catapult's the spell card. Synonyms. Ballista, add Gear Town. Activate the Gear Town. Use Regulus effect, target the Gear box, summon himself, and equip the Gear box to himself. Activate Fusion. Fusing Wyvern with Ballista. Make Howitzer. Use Howitzer effect, burn for 1,000. Pass turn. Not a strong board, really. Howitzer has it unaffected by other cards, can burn, and Regulus for a negate. And if Gear Town happens to be popped, I get an Ancient Gear monster. Opponent, set, pass. Get Urgent Schedule. Start with Feather Duster. Sweep up their back row, which consisted of Awakening of the Sacred Beasts. Burn them for 1,000 with Howitzer. Banish my Catapult to pop my Gear Town, and make a token. Gear Town was popped. Summon Ancient Gear Dart Golem from the deck. Dart Golem effect. Add Ancient Gear Fortress and Ancient Gear Advance. Discard Urgent Schedule. Activate the Fortress. Activate the Advance. Advance adds Ancient Gear Duel. Activate Ancient Gear Fusion. Fusing my Dart Golem and 4 Ancient Gears from the deck. Make Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. Commander will banish itself from the graveyard to set my Ancient Gear Duel, so now Ancient Gear monsters are unaffected by my opponent's monster's effects. And there's some other stuff that could happen. Swing with the Chaos Giant over the 0 defense Jet Synchron, and punch face with Regulus. Did not meet a lot of resistance there, but I was excited. Big robot, do big punch. Playable hand. Opponent going first activates Branded Fusion. Send away Lubellion and Fallen of Albaz. Fuse them into Albion. Albion's on summon effect. Fusing the Mercurier in hand with the Albaz in the grave. Both are now banished. Makes Lubellion the Searing. Lubellion the Searing, pitch Super Poly. Mercurier will activate because it was banished. Adds the Blazing Cartesia. And Lubellion fuses itself with the banished Fallen of Albaz, making Mirror Jade. Albion is tributed to summon the Bestial Lubellion from grave. Bestial Lubellion, setting Branded Regained active from the deck. They summon Cartesia, who will then use her effect to fuse with Bestial Lubellion, make it Granguinol. Granguinol effect, send away Garura from the extra deck, which lets them draw a card. Then activates that Grass Looks Greener, sending away 8 cards. During the end phase, Albion will set Branded Banishment. Cartesia will return herself to the hand. And now it's my turn. Get Forbidden Droplet off the top. Activate Ancient Gear Advance. Add Catapult. Activate the Catapult, targeting the Advance opponent with the Max C. Chain Urgent Schedule to special summon before Max C resolves, because I have to play into this. Get Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon and Gizmek Teneguku. Catapult pops the Advance, summoning the Wyvern. Wyvern effect. Tengoku effect, but it will be negated due to Urgent Schedule. Wyvern adds Gear Fortress. Activate Triple Tactics Thrust. Opponent activates Mirror Jade, sending away Albion. I chain Forbidden Droplet, sending away my triple tack. Opponent activates Branded Banishment. Branded Banishment summons Guiding Quem, who will then be fused with the Mirror Jade. Make Despian Queritus. Droplet, targeting Granguinol to turn it off. Mirror Jade effect, then sending away my Reactor Dragon, banishing it. And then we get to triple tack, stealing their Queritus. Branded Regained will let them return Mirror Jade from the banished zone to the extra deck and let them draw a card. Activate Triple Tactics Thrust, adding Ancient Gear Fusion. Activate Ancient Gear Fortress. Link together Wyvern and Teneguku. Make Ballista. Ballista effect, add Gear Town. Activate the town. Use Ballista effect, popping my Gear Town, setting their Granguinol to 0 attack, 0 defense. Gear Town was popped. Summon Ancient Gear Dark Golem from the deck. Dark Golem lets me add 2 cards and send 1 away. Add Tanker and another fusion. Send away Ancient Gear Golem. Normal summon Tanker. It will revive my Golem. Activate Ancient Gear Fusion. Fusing the Golem with 3 cards from the deck. Make Chaos Giant. Activate second fusion. Fusing Dark Golem with 4 gears from the deck. Make second Chaos Giant. Move to battle, swing Chaos Giant over Granguinol. Second one goes the face, and victory is the place. I have chosen to go second, because it's an OTK deck. Kinda need to. Opponent summons Kitchen Dragon Maid, adding Chamber Dragon Maid. Discarding Laundry. They set 2 and pass. I get Triple Tack Thrust. Start by activating Gear Town. Activate Urgent Schedule. Summon Teneguku and Reactor. Use Teneguku, but it's negated because of Urgent Schedule summoning. Link both of them together for the Ballista. Ballista effect. On Link Summon, add Dark Golem. Uses activated, getting rid of the Gear Town, putting their monster to 0. Gear Town lets me summon Wyvern. Wyvern, add Fortress. Activate the Fortress. Activate new Gear Town. Summon Ancient Gear Commander, which will send away Ancient Gear Golem from deck to grave. And he was special summoned by that effect. Or rather, a free normal summon for sending that away. Then summon Tanker, who will summon Dark Golem from the hand. Commander effect will activate, Dark Golem will chain. Dark Golem adding Ancient Gear Advance, and Ancient Gear Fusion. Getting rid of the Thrust. And Commander reviving Ancient Gear Golem normal style. Activate Ancient Gear Advance, which will add Ancient Gear Duel. Activate Ancient Gear Fusion. Fusing Golem and Commander from the field with 2 from the deck. Make Chaos Giant. Commander effect, banishing itself, placing my Duel activated on the field. Then use the Duel, fusing Golem from the Dark Golem from the field with 2 from grave. Make Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. Teneguku will banish itself to summon back a machine monster with equal attack and defense, which is Ancient Gear Reactor. Tanker and Wyvern overlay. Make Springans Merrymaker. Merrymaker, because the Springans can be used to make Champion Sargas. Sargas effect, add Therian King Regulus to hand from the deck. Regulus effect, target the Gearbox, summon himself and equip for a negate for one of those 2 back row cards, just in case. Move to battle, Chaos Giant punches over the kitchen, and Ultimate Gear Golem punches for victory. Opponent summons Ariana, using her on summon effect. Add Big Welcome Labyrinth to hand. Shows Lady Labyrinth. And because a Labyrinth effect was activated this turn, you can special summon her. Set 1, activate Stovey Torby, setting itself an Ash Blossom away to set the field spell from the deck, which they then activate, and then pass it to me. Activate Lightning Storm, declaring spells and traps. Opponent surrenders. Pretty sure I saved that one just because it was funny to watch them give up. Twitter. They didn't know the rest of my hand. Once again, choose to go second with the OTK deck. Opponent sends a card away to summon Diabellstar, setting 1 card. Diabellstar effect, adding Sinful Spoil Snake Eyes to the field, activates it, sending away Diabellstar, summon Ash. Ash is on summon, add Poplar. Poplar's add to hand, special summon it. Link Poplar away for Ling Karibo. Poplar was sent to graveyard, puts itself in the back row. Ash effect, send itself and Poplar away. Special summon out Flamberge from the deck. Use the Fire King High Avatar Kirin, popping the Flamberge to summon itself from the hand. Flamberge was sent to graveyard, its effect will activate. Sacred Fire King Garunix will chain because a fire monster was destroyed by an effect. Summons himself. Flamberge will put Poplar and Ash back on the field. Garunix will then pop a fire monster from the deck, which is Courtier Ulcanix. Ulcanix was popped, summons Fire King High Avatar Garunix. Then, the Snake Eyes will be used as link material, making IP Masquerena. IP and Linker make Promethean Princess. Princess effect, summon back the Flamberge Dragon. Flamberge effect, target IP, put her in the back row. Fire Avatar High Garunix and the Promethean Princess make Amphibious Swarmship Amphibowhale. And they pass it to me. Opponent uses Flamberge's effect during my draw, sliding IP up to be able to use her as link material again during my turn. Start by activating Gear Town. Opponent fires off IP's effect. IP, Flamberge, and Fire Avatar Kirin all linked together for Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. 3-stack Appo. Flamberge was sent to graveyard, summon back Poplar and Ash. Ash was summoned, add Fire King Ponix. Activate my Ancient Gear Catapult, popping my Gear Town to summon Dark Golem. Dark Golem's on summon effect, with Gear Town to chain. Opponent activates Promethean Princess, targeting their Swarm Ship and my Dark Golem. Princess resolves, destroying both, summoning herself back. Gear Town now resolves, summoning Wyvern, and Dark Golem is able to resolve, adding Fortress and Advance, getting rid of Commander. Wyvern's on summon will activate. Opponent's Appaloosa will activate in response. Appaloosa resolves, stopping Wyvern's on summon. Activate my Fortress. Opponent activates Solemn Judgment, paying half their life points, popping the Fortress. Activate my Ancient Gear Advance, adding another Fortress. Activate the new one. Use Commander's effect, banishing itself, setting my Ancient Gear Duel from the hand. Summon Tanker. Tanker will revive Dark Golem. Because of the effect of my Ancient Gear Fortress, my Ancient Gears cannot be destroyed by my opponent's card effects. My opponent can't activate cards in response to my Ancient Gears, which is why Appaloosa does not respond to Tankers on summon to revive Dark Golem. Use the Ancient Gear Duel for its force fusion of my 3 monsters into Ancient Gear Ultimate Golem. Swing with it over Ash. Alright. And because it was fusion someone with Ancient Gear Duel, it can attack up to 3 times each battle phase. So, swing over the 1000 defense point Ash, dealing 3400 to them. They already paid half their life points for that Solemn. They summon Ponix, so the fire monster was destroyed. Ponix will add Fire King Sky Burn. I do my second attack, punching over Appaloosa and winning the game. Opponent going first activates Labyrinth. Uses Stovey Torby, sending itself and Mirror Force away. Stovey Torby, able to set Big Welcome Labyrinth from the deck. They set one more card, pass it to me. Draw Commander for turn. Activate Ancient Gear Fortress. Opponent activates Big Welcome. Big Welcome, summoning the lady, returning her to the hand. Able to pop my Fortress due to the effects being added by Labyrinth. Then, because Fortress was destroyed in the Spell and Trap Zone, I can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from hand or wherever. So, a little bit intentional. Stovey Torby will activate because card was destroyed by trap cards, and the lady will activate to summon herself because a Labyrinth effect activated. Both their monsters on the field. I choose to special summon out my Ancient Gear Commander. Opponent will activate Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch, targeting my commander. In response, their lady will activate to a trap card being activated to set a new one. Commander is popped. They send away Chandragolier. Chandragolier is able to be revived by the Labyrinth. For activating a non-Labyrinth trap. Activate my Triple Tactics Thrust, using it to add Triple Tack Talent. Activate the talent, drawing 2 cards. Summon Wyvern. Wyvern add Ancient Gear Advance. Activate the advance, adding Fortress. Activate the new Fortress. Advance effect, tributing my Wyvern to add Ancient Gear Dragon. Activate Catapult, popping my Fortress to summon Dark Golem. Dark Golem's on summon, and Fortress's destruction effects will activate. Opponent will use Chandragolier, sending itself and the card in their hand away to be able to set a card. Setting another Big Welcome. Fortress will revive my commander. Dark Golem add Tanker and Duel. Send away Funny Frog. Commander effect, send away a normal Golem. Summon Tanker to revive that Golem. Commander and Tanker link together, make the Ballista. Ballista on summon, add a Gear Town. Activate the town. Commander effect, banishing itself, setting my Ancient Gear Duel as active. Use the Gizmek to summon back my Tanker. Ballista, popping Gear Town, putting Labyrinth Stovey Torby to 0 defense. Gear Town was popped, summon Reactor Dragon. Use Duel. Fusing 3 of my monsters, Golem, Wyvern, and Ballista. Make the ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. Tanker effect, tributing itself to boost the power of my Ancient Gear Golem cards. Swing with Ultimate Golem over the Stovey Torby for 5,000 direct, and over the lady, 2,100 direct, and the third swing, 5,000 unimpeded at the face. And now we move on to the final Ancient Gear game. Opponent going first, of course. I'm pretty sure I saved this one just because how weird it was to see Ursa Arctic. Activates McPolar, using its effect to tribute another McPolar to summon itself. It was special summoned, so it adds Ultimate Bright Knight Ursatron Alpha. And because they control an Ursa Arctic or Drytron, they can special summon it, then add an Ursa Arctic or Drytron spell trap. They do this, adding Ursa Arctic Radiation. Activates the Radiation, it gets its 7 counters. Use Megatonus, tributing Gamma Seal to summon itself. Ursa Arctic Radiation lets them draw a card. They will use Mechatonus and Ursatron Alpha to technically synchro summon Ursa Arctic Polari. Because of its effect, they can add Big Dipper. And Radiation will let them get another card. Big Dipper is set activated. They use Polari's effect, attempting to tribute, but Big Dipper lets them banish instead for cost. Brings back Megatonus. which will then properly synchro with their Polari into Ursarctic Serpentrion. Get another card off Radiation. They set a monster. Radiation will return the McPolar from graveyard to deck. My turn. Start with Lightning Storm. Chain Forbidden Droplet, sending away the Lightning Storm. No responses from the opponent. Negate Serpentrion, destroy their spells and traps. Summon Tanker. Opponent with the Maxi. Maxi resolves. Tanker lets me summon Wyvern. Wyvern on summon. Serpentrion will attempt to activate, but Droplet will not let it resolve. Wyvern add Advance. Activate the Advance, adding Fortress. Activate the Fortress. Use Super Express Bullet Train because I only control Earth Machine monsters to special summon itself. Bullet Train and Wyvern make Ancient Gear Ballista. Ballista on summon, add Gear Town. Put the Gear Town in the field spell, use Ballista, pop the Gear Town, make their McPolar 0/0. Gear Town lets me summon Ancient Gear Dark Golem. Dark Golem on summon, add Commander, and Ancient Gear Duel, then discard Commander. Banish Commander. Activate Gear Duel from hand. Gear Duel letting me fuse. Tanker, Dark Golem, and Wyvern. Make Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem with 3 attacks. Swing once at McPolar, 4,400 to the face. Swing once at Serpentrion, 2,900 to the face. And once at their mystery monster, which has 100 defense, which is way too little. Victory for the Gears. So, Ancient Gear, it's fun. It is struggles from the problem of you go second intentionally, which sometimes boards are harder to break through that. Not impossible, but some of them are really tough. So here's the deck list I was running. It's running a 48 card deck, so much higher than normal, but it does help with consistency. Magical Hound, because you can target a spell, trap your opponent controls, bounce it, and then special summon it, so it's a essential free summon, getting rid of any interaction your opponent has. Gizmek Teniguku, because it can special summon machines with equal attack and defense, which a lot of Ancient Gears are. Ancient Gear Box, if it's added to the hand, you can add an Earth Machine monster with minimal stats and attack power. Ancient Gear Wyvern gets you add any Ancient Gear card from its summon. Ancient Gear Tanker, when it's normal or special summoned, you can special summon another Ancient Gear monster except itself. Or if your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon it from the graveyard. And you can also target one face-up card you control, pop it, and boost all your Ancient Gear Golem powers for the turn. Commander, he exists to be banished to set Ancient Gear Duel on your turn. However, if he is normal or special summoning an Ancient Gear monster, you can special summon an Ancient Gear Golem from your hand or graveyard, ignoring its conditions, as an extra, so potential twofer. Ancient Gear Dragon, this one is a weird one. He's there to be an additional target for Gear Box, in case you're somehow able to get Commander if you lose him. And he can be normal summoned without tributing, which is not really helpful, but if he is able to be special summoned out, he is able to respond to your opponent's spells and traps by negating them and sending away an Ancient Gear, so he has potential extra protection. 1 basic Ancient Gear Golem, Therian King Regulus, because he should be in every machine deck, because he's just good fodder, or filler. Ancient Gear Dark Golem, really good for setting up your graveyard with those commanders, getting 2 cards that you need, one that you're fine getting rid of. Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon, he does gain effects if tributed, but he is also there to be the best target for Gizmek Teniguku for his equal attack and defense. Super Express Bullet Train is able to summon himself, so he's an extender. Then you got your Harpy's Feather Duster to clear up the back row because you're going second intentionally, which the Lightning Storms are also there for the same purpose. Pot of Desires, we're kind of fine with having this because we are running more cards than normal, and we do want to really prevent running out of having too much redundancy. So with running an extra-sized deck, there is an argument that if you have down some of these, take 1 or 2 out here and there, you don't need it. But it's still nice to have it, and is a good way to also bait out your opponent's stuff like Ash Blossom, where they would prevent you from adding cards where you actually have other cards that you don't want them to stop. like Ancient Gear Catapult, which you can be very good for popping any of your continuous Ancient Gear stuff to special summon an Ancient Gear monster. Most of the time will be Dark Golem, and you do not want this to be stopped. You can also banish this card from the graveyard to target a face-up card you control and destroy it to summon a token, which is good for extensions. Ancient Gear Fusion. This card rocks. Summon an Ancient Gear Fusion monster from your deck, from your extra deck using material from your hand or field, or if you use Ancient Gear Golem or Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound, you can also use material from your deck, and Ancient Gear Dark Golem's name becomes Ancient Gear Golem while it is on the field. So it's a good way to get your bigger ones out that require more materials. Triple Tack Talent and Triple Tack Thrust for obvious reasons. Gear Town. You're never going to use this for the tributing part. It is there to be destroyed to summon an Ancient Gear monster. Fortress is a great way to prevent your opponent from messing up your Okos, because your opponents can't respond to the monsters the turn they're summoned. They can't target them. They can't destroy them. It's great. And if this card is destroyed, you can special summon Ancient Gear monster. Ancient Gear Advance. This is a way to add the specific Ancient Gear spell trap that you need. And once per turn, you can tribute one monster to draw a card and apply this effect that lets you normal summon another Ancient Gear Golem or level 5 monster without tributing. Doesn't come up super often, but it is there for sometimes. Single called by because we kind of need it. Urgent Schedule lets you special summon out 2 monsters, which is just a way to start going into Ancient Gear Ballista, Forbidden Droplet, and Ancient Gear Duel. Ancient Gear Duel is your Fusion Gate Trap card that makes your opponent's monsters just... I'm speaking wrong. Your monsters are unaffected by their monsters, which is super helpful because most of the time, Ancient Gear monsters prevent your opponent from using spells or traps during the battle phase, so this gives them that last final bit of protection that they need. And the extra summoning, of course. In the extra deck, we got 2 Howitzers, which is a very good defensive option if you don't have much to go into, which we saw in the one game where just Howitzer and Regulus were all I had. Because unaffected by other card effects is a greatly overlooked thing. Even with his 1800 defense, this comes up a lot. And if this card is destroyed, you can special summon an Ancient Gear monster. Ancient Gear Megaton Golem is just there to be a 3 Ancient Gear material monster to summon out. Most of the time if you're fusing, you're going to want to go into Ancient Gear, or Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, or the Chaos Golem. Megaton Golem does have the bonus effect of if it's fusion someone using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golems, it can attack amount of times equal to those materials with names. And if it leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, you could special summon an Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem from your extra deck. So there's that. But Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem is just as easy to summon, if not more so for getting the full benefits. It has the piercing damage. If it attacks, your opponent can't activate spell traps. If it's destroyed, you can target an Ancient Gear Golem in your graveyard and special summon it. Then there's the Chaos Ancient Gear Giant, which is just the better version of Megaton. However, it does need 4 materials, which is why the convenient part of Fusion, letting you summon with materials from the deck, comes up. Unaffected by spell trap effects, period. Your opponent can't activate monster effects during the battle phase. Can't attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If it attacks defense position monster, does piercing damage. And then we have a little bit of redundancy coverage with Baguska for if you're only able to get out like Tanker and Wyvern and have no other ways to extend, you can stall out with it in defense. Dugaras if you want to make a really big punch monster. Springans exists to go into Sargass, which exists to get you Regulus. Cleafort Genius is a weird one here. It is unaffected by spell and traps and the effects of other link monsters. Once per turn, you can target a face-up card on each field, negate the effects of both cards till end of turn. When 2 monsters special summon at the same time to the zones this card points to, you can add a level 5 or higher machines. So this exists for the sometimes chance where you get this out, you use one of your other summoning cards to... I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Your opponent controls more monsters than you do. Urgent Schedule. So if you Cleafort Genius out and use Urgent Schedule to have 2 monsters summoned to the zones, that can get you Regulus and then have a bunch of monsters out, which can make you go into Ancient Gear Ballista, get you your Gear Town, summon out the Regulus using monsters that were used to make Cleafort in the first place. It is a little bit of extra protection because it's more so something you want on if your opponent chooses for you to go first, much like how Baguska is. Then we have just a little bit of coverage with Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Griffin. Griffin is... I'm going to be honest, this one could be taken out for something like access code, but sometimes the co-linking can come up, but not super often, because your arrows are not great with these cards. Like Ancient Gear Ballista being one to the right and one to the down left is awkward for any sort of co-linking synergies. But Ancient Gear Ballista has always been a good card for machines. You get to add your Ancient Gear Monster or Gear Town, and you can target card, pop it, set one of your opponent's monsters' attack defense to 0, which makes them take the full force of the Ancient Gear Big Punch. And that's how you do it. You saw the replays, here's the deck list. Have fun. Bye.